I'm Jessie Draper, the Valley Girl. Let's talk business. I'm like the Valley Girl. Peak.com helps you discover amazing local activities by offering high-quality options for you to book online. Ruzwana Bashir is the co-founder and CEO of Peak.com. Before Peak, Ruzwana worked at Gilt Groupe, Art.sy, the Blackstone Group, and Goldman Sachs. She's a rockin' woman. Well, here we are with Ruzwana of Peak. So how are you doing?
I'm really well, thank you.
Good. I'm so glad to hear it. Okay, what is Peak.com?
So Peak is a one-stop shop for travelers to discover and book amazing things to do. So whereas you might use Kayak to book a flight or Expedia to book a hotel, you come to Peak to find all the fun things to do in a new place.
I love fun things.
Well, this is going to be perfect for you. So it can go from buying a ticket for a museum through to booking a winery tour, or even going swimming with sharks or heading to a film festival. You can buy everything on Peak.
Oh my gosh, I want to do all of those things except for the sharks because I'm deathly afraid of sharks. However, it would be a cool experience.
It would. And you can always swim with dolphins instead.
Yes, I would totally swim with dolphins.
So we've got to get you into Peak and get you over to Hawaii or up to San Diego so you can do that.
So it's a great, it's a great service. I played around with it the other day and it's just so visually, it's like aesthetically pleasing, which is really nice for a travel site.
So we focused a lot on that, and part of, for me, when I'm traveling, I care about what it's going to be like when I'm there, and I want to have the visual experience, and so much of it is about being able to see and almost feel like you're there. And so when I was looking at travel sites, especially in activities, they'd have really bad photography, you wouldn't really understand what you were going to do, the editorial was really bad, and so that's something that we wanted to kind of completely come in and change, so that's what we have done, hopefully.
Yeah, no, definitely, and I was telling you before, like, I'm planning my bachelorette party, because I'm getting married, and we're planning it in Miami, but none of us have been to Miami before. So it's so hard to find those, events that you want to do together and group activities that work for everybody.
Absolutely. So, I had the same problem myself every time I was planning a trip, and I found that my friends would always rely on me as the person who would do all the work, and so I'd go and buy a travel guide, and I'd get recommendations from all our friends and put them together. I'd go to the web and spend hours browsing, looking at all these different things, and then from there I'd have this list of things that we might be able to do, and I'd be calling all of these activities providers to try and find out who was the best and organizing it, and it just took hours and hours, and I thought it would be great to have a bookable travel guide, something that gave me curated activities that I could book and buy online, and so that's what we're building. And when I started working on that concept, what was really exciting for me was that all of the small businesses that provide these activities, they really need help too. A lot of them are offline still, so 1 in 5 in America don't even have a website.
That's so interesting.
So the ones that don't have a website, it's very difficult for you to find them online.
So how are you finding them? Just phone books?
Actually, we work with a lot of local experts and tastemakers.
Right.
So we'll find people who have traveled to that area or live there and know it really well, and we ask them what the best things to do are. So as an example, when we were going to Napa, we asked...
Love Napa.
Yep.
Love wine.
Well, actually, there's lots of stuff to do apart from drinking wine, which most people don't know about. And so that's one of the things that we did focus on. But in going there, we went to ask the chef de cuisine at French Laundry, which is probably the best restaurant in America, and asked for his advice on the best food and the best places to go wine tasting, alongside a whole host of other things like olive oil tasting or going on a balloon ride. And so getting all of those inside tips was really important to us.
It really is important, actually. You have so much more fun. I never thought about this. You have so much more fun when you go to a new city when you are hanging out with a local who knows
Absolutely.
all the cool spots and the cool things to do. And
so for us, we wanted to bring that onto the web. So we have this concept of perfect days. I don't know whether you've looked at those already.
So what is a perfect day? How do you make a perfect day?
So imagine you can dip into an online library full of the best travel tips from around the world, from local experts, tastemakers, people who know the place better than you could ever know. They'll give you their insider tips on the best restaurants, the best places to go, activities to do, and that's what we've done. So we've got people like Tory Burch providing you tips on what to do in Hawaii, or Diane von Furstenberg in LA, Piers Morgan in San Diego. So there's this huge spectrum of people who are giving you guidance. Also, for me, when you first get to a place and you spend like the first 3 or 4 hours trying to figure things out, I just want to get rid of that. I want people to be able to say, okay, well, I'm just going to go on Peak and work out, a few of the things that I might be interested in doing. So if I've got a family, hey, there's a whole family-friendly section,
right,
and it's easy. Or if I'm really into, arts and culture, there's a section on that. So we try and make it really simple and straightforward for people to work out what they can do, so that you're not overwhelmed with information.
So, okay, where did you get this entrepreneurial bug?
I think, I've always wanted to run my own business. It's been that way for a long time. I ended up in my career going for a slightly more businessy route, and so I worked at Goldman Sachs and at Blackstone, and so got more of the finance training before then. And then I came to America to do my MBA at Harvard, and that was when I decided to jump in and fell in love with startups.
What's your move? What's in your chair move?
I don't really think I've done this before.
You're good at it.
I'm just gonna copy you.
You're good at it.
And hope for the best, right?
What would you say are your top 3 travel tips?
The first would be to travel in comfort. Don't be a Victoria Beckham. There's no need for 6-inch high heels when you're traveling.
Although you're wearing some
I am, and I'm not
hefty heels.
I'm not at the airport. That's an important thing. So I think save your glamour for other occasions. But when you're in the airport, wear some flats, take a cashmere blanket with you, and make the most of it. So that's definitely my first tip. The second would be to take red eyes. I know a lot of people hate them, and when I'm doing them, there is a moment where I'm thinking, why?
You're like, I'm not gonna get any sleep.
Exactly,
yeah.
But make sure the food coma is a classic trick for me. So have some carbs, load up, and then just go to sleep. I'm pretty small, and so I have the advantage of being able to curl up into a ball. But I do love taking red eyes, because when you get there, you can nap for a couple of hours when you first arrive, and then you've got the whole day in front of you. So I'm always that person that wants to maximize my time.
Yeah, you don't miss a day. I love that.
Yeah, so that's definitely my biggest travel tip, even though it's probably something that people don't like to do. And I think the third would be to go out of your comfort zone when you're traveling, because ultimately the things that you remember are really based on things that are really unusual and out of the ordinary. And that's why so many of our memories are around travel. I don't know whether you have this yourself, but a lot of my most formative experiences have been traveling, and that's part of the reason that I started Peak as well, was to give people an opportunity to engage with a place in a new way. So I'd say go out of your comfort zone, do something you'd never thought you would do.
What's your best travel experience been using Peak so far?
So I would say it's a seaplane tour over San Francisco.
Oh, wow.
And it was just so beautiful.
That's fantastic. How fun.
Yeah.
And so what cities are you in right now?
So we are in the Hawaiian Islands, and we are in San Francisco, San Diego, Napa, and now Los Angeles.
Fantastic.
So if you're going to LA, check it out.
Yes, I live in LA most of the time, so
fantastic.
I will definitely check it out. Well, high five for LA.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice. You have some fantastic investors. I just think it's really interesting when people, how did you find your investors? Was it a strategic decision, or, how did that work?
Well, with building a team or building a group of investors, I always think you want the smartest people in the room who really believe in your idea and what you're doing and are excited about it. And so
true.
We, they were all passionate, and they got the vision of what we were doing and the fact that we were going to hopefully disrupt a massive industry, which we are doing. And so all of those people were excited about it. Some come from the tech world. So, Jack Dorsey and Eric Schmidt through Innovation Endeavors, and Ron Conway are more on the tech side. And then David Bonderman, who runs TBG, is more on the travel side. So we wanted to get a spectrum. We did try and be a little bit more strategic.
That's really smart. I mean, I think it's just really smart to think about it that way.
And, at the end of the day, when people are passionate and they can give you a ton of advice, it's really helpful.
Yes. Oh, definitely. Yeah. Surround yourself with, well, you guys are doing a great job. I'm just so incredibly impressed with everything you're doing. And I love that you're saying you're disrupting travel, because it needs to be disrupted. I really think it is, and it does. And where do you see Peak in, say, 5 years down the road?
So I see Peak helping every small business that's in as an activity provider with
small businesses.
Yeah, absolutely. Taking online booking, helping them find new customers, and that it continues to be the one-stop shop for you to come in and discover amazing things to do. I want to be global. Right now, we're just in America. We're expanding to some new markets. So Miami, where you're going on your bachelorette, I think we're going to be able to help you out. Also New York and some other markets in the US, and obviously Europe and beyond. So you'll be able to use us everywhere you go. The small businesses that need our help will be able to get access to incredible booking tools and hopefully new customers.
Well, I'd like to end on one piece of advice that you have for a woman who would like to be running a company like you one day.
I'd say take a risk. I think there's a cliche and it's a stereotype that women are a little bit more risk averse. I'd like to think we aren't, but just in case, in the end, life is all about finding something that you're passionate about and taking a risk on it. There is a relationship with risk and reward, and so if you want to learn a ton, you want to have an opportunity that isn't like anything else, be willing to take a risk on something that you're excited about, that you're passionate about, that you believe in, and do that as quickly as you can in your career. Don't wait. We're always looking to get all the skills that you might need to run a company, or have the experience that we think is necessary, and yet in the end, half of this is experience, but a lot of it is around passion and just kind of finding out things as you go along.
Well, thank you, Ruzwana. This was you are so wonderful. Like, this was just such a nice talk. Like, you were just wonderful.
I'm like the Valley Girl.
And I'm like Ruzwana from Peak.com.
And now it's time for your Dits moment.
Lots of high-fiving.
Yeah, that was harder than I was
We should do it
expecting.
again. Yeah, that was a pretty good. Wow, that was a loud and a hard one.
Yeah, exactly.
My hand
I'm
could be.
I'm suffering a little bit, but I'm
You
gonna fake
have
it.
a hard high five.